do you mean when you say 2020 will be the darkest winter in modern history?
The window is closing to address this pandemic because we still do not have a standard, centralized, coordinated plan to take our nation through this response.
Johns Hopkins, along with various fascists, globalists, and bioterrorists, have frequent pandemic exercises to prepare themselves for when they release their next virus.
Unless we all recommit to the common sense measures that got us past the first horrendous months of this pandemic, we are in for a long, dark winter.
One of these scenarios in 2001 focused on a smallpox bioweapon attack in America. This pandemic exercise was called Dark Winter.
We're still facing a very dark winter.
The scenario predicts things like restaurant and school closings, mass isolation, and blocking interstate travel, which eventually leads to serious economic disruptions and civil unrest.
The country is still in a crisis, and there's a dark winter still ahead.
Most frighteningly, the designers suggest using the federal quarantine law, Insurrection Act, and martial law.
I said in March it was going to be a long, dark winter. We're still in that long, dark winter.
We're about to go into a dark winter, a dark winter.
Why have the social engineers been pre-programming us using the phrase dark winter?
We are already experiencing a surge. Now we have this. Are we headed for a bleak winter here, sir?
Because they plan to use the annual increase in illnesses during the winter to push their pandemic fear porn and authoritarian lockdowns.
You know, Chuck, a lot of whether or not we're headed into a bleak or bleaker winter is really going to depend upon what we do. It is so important for people to get vaccinated and for those who are fully vaccinated to get boosted.
They look, who's president? Fauci.
So I would prefer, and we all would prefer, that people would be voluntarily getting vaccinated. But if they're not going to do that, sometimes you've got to do things that are unpopular, but that clearly supersede individual choices and are directed predominantly at the communal good. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about requirements.
Maybe there would be a better word besides mandate, but I don't know what it is.
A scientific death cult is taking control of human evolution to build a post-human world. They're in the process of conditioning the world population to accept this takeover. If we adapt by submitting to it, it will be the end of humanity as we know it and the beginning of a true nightmare era, only imagined in the minds of people like H.P. Lovecraft or the mind of Satan.
There's been an outbreak of chocolatey goodness near Hershey, Pennsylvania. What do you think happened?
Visit vaccines.gov, vaccines.gov, or text your zip code to 43.
I'm not asking what's in the infusion. I'm not looking up all of the ingredients in the infusion. I am sticking out my arm and I am taking the infusion.
Throughout the once free Western world, our politicians are demanding the unjabbed lose access to public venues, transportation, grocery stores, employment, and even the ability to leave our homes. And now, it's not just threats. It's actually happening. The beast system has been born.
It's the truth. It's a problem that never ends. It's a problem that takes over your society. It's a problem designed to put you on a vaccine passport that's a carbon passport that is a tracking system for a social credit score in their own admissions, now officially rolling out.
Every time we go anywhere in Australia right now, whether it be a cafe, a supermarket, wherever, we actually have to scan in. We actually have to tell the government where we are. We have a QR code, we get our phones and we put them up there, like good little citizens, and we scan in and tell them where we are at any given time. And there are people saying that should last forever.
A vaccine mandate for private sector employers across the board.
We're all about to die, so just get ready and enjoy it. Hope you all enjoyed being liberal.
And this would be my advice to mayors, governors, CEOs all over the country. Use these vaccine mandates, and the more universal they are, the more likely employees will say, okay, it's time, I'm going to do this. It's something that needs to be universal to protect all of us.
You know, you go back 6,000 years ago, and the Mayans would sacrifice a few people on a few holidays. And then it got more, and it's always the same. And you look at us, we've killed more people than the Mesoamericans ever did with abortion. This is the religion of the Satanist. Who did they worship down in South America, Central America, and Southern North America? The winged serpent. Who did the Egyptians worship? And they did human sacrifice too. Winged serpent. This is a global cult, ladies and gentlemen, and we ain't in it.
The globalist ultimate goal for this year's dark winter is to mandate the COVID passports and their endless booster shot scheme for everyone, including the children.
We want our children in school, and we're going to take new steps to make sure they stays that way. But again, the best step is to vaccinate your children. Get them vaccinated.
One of the other measures is the requiring vaccination for indoor dining, fitness, entertainment for children, too. Children now have access to the vaccine ages 5 to 11. I will say, I am surprised that more cities have not followed New York City's lead.
If we put up with that, God is going to remove the hedge of protection. This is all a ritual. The globalists are metaphysical. They're all about energy. They know what they're doing.
The school mandates for these experimental shots are already in effect for most colleges, and the mandates for teenagers and children to be permanently damaged every 6 months are either already here or coming very, very soon.
The Third Reich did not end with experiments on children, nor when those children died. The Third Reich ended in 1946 when we put the doctors who committed these human experiments on trial in Nuremberg, and then we put them to death.
And if they can get you to let them hurt children and kill children en masse, you don't have any spiritual protection. God washes his hands clean of it and says, all right, then, you don't want me in your life? I'm opening the portal. And then you know what happens.
It's not about protecting you and me. It's about protecting the children. What will future generations think of us?
Hey, Granny Bird, question. Have you decided if Big Bird's going to be getting the vaccine?
Yes, I did. I asked my questions and I got my answers, and I've scheduled an appointment for my grandson. We're leaving in a few minutes.
And I watched Fauci and Obama standing over 5, 6, and 7-year-old children, helping the nurses inject them with living death.
I do what science drives you to do, and that's what I do. And, you know, I'm not in it for a popularity contest. I'm trying to save lives. And the people who weaponize lies are killing people.
And the reason it made me mad is not just for those children. We've got to do something. We can't let them do this. So there's that. It gets worse, okay?
Big Bird, how did it go?
Yeah, how are you feeling?
Oh, well, I feel okay. My wing hurts a little bit, but that's okay.
No one is going to protect them but us.
And before they kill us, they turn people into useless, demonic, empty, selfish people that even as children are being killed in front of us with these shots, we do nothing. And it's all a metaphysical trick. A society that lets people hurt children is over, is done.
As a parent and grandparent, my strong recommendation to you is to resist and fight to protect your children.
Support the human resistance at InfowarsStore.com.